Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, guys. You know, it's your girl coming in with another truth serum. You know, no, I'm kidding. But today I actually want to talk about, does hijab actually exist in the Quran? It's true, the word hijab is not in the Quran, and so I see where they're coming from. Before I get into that, I just want to go into, like, these trolls. I'm still really tired of these trolls, like, coming with their BS. And you know what's really sad, you guys? Really sad, okay? You know how, like, Muslims themselves are now saying things that are super liberal to the point it's like un-Islamic, but they want to say that that un-Islamic thing is halal, like alcohol, tattoo, and all this BS. So basically, like, at a point I got tired, okay? So I was on Twitter, right? And so then what's happening is I had little, disagreement between certain people on Twitter, and it was about, so a girl tweeted saying how tattoos, alcohols, and all that kind of stuff is haram. And some people are arguing how tattoos is halal and all this and that, whatever. These are Muslims, okay? And I'm just like, I know they did not just say that. And I felt so bad because the girl herself is not a hijabi and she's speaking the truth. And I'm like, yes, girl, preach the truth even if it's against yourself. Like, we should always preach this truth, you know what I mean? Because as Muslims, we're always, as humans, we're just gonna always struggle and make mistakes, you know what I'm saying? So basically, all these people came at her and it's like, well, don't worry about that. Like, stop judging. Like, I could judge you right now for not wearing a hijab. And I'm like, are you guys really worried? Like, this girl's talking about the truth, and then so what they do to ignore the truth is by pointing like 20 billion fingers at them, like, well, look at what you're doing wrong, just to like ignore what they are doing wrong. And I'm not one of those people. Like, if I see, even if someone's doing something wrong, but if they're speaking the truth, I still listen to them because I'm like, it's still the truth, you know what I mean? So anyways, that argument was like a month ago, okay? Let me tell you that, okay? So this girl, right, I don't even know her, okay? And so after a month of not even talking about this, by the way, the disagreement between me and some guys on Twitter, it was like very like cordial. It wasn't even like negative or like aggressive or anything like that. They were like, oh, okay, I see your point of view, but this is what I choose to do. I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. I'm not gonna try to convince you. It's just what it is, right? A month later, okay, Rand told me this chick writes, okay, personally, I don't think tattoos are haram because it's below the skin, so you can still do wudu. But when you say, welcome to Jannah, beloved, who are you to say if I'm going to hell or not, lol? You're not Allah. And before you start pulling out hadiths about how tattoos are haram, you should pull out hadiths about how Allah says you can judge a person and tell them whether they're going to hell or heaven. Good night. And I'm just like, do I answer the stupidity? Because, like, these arguments that don't judge. Okay, if you point one thing out, okay, so let's put a bunch of hadiths about why you don't judge. Like, okay, so I wrote to her, okay, girl, calm down. It doesn't matter what you personally think, mainly when nobody asked you, okay? Your opinions all based off emotions and desires. Sorry, but facts from the religion triumphs over your feelings and emotions, okay? Let's keep it real. And you can keep your overused them judge me cards somewhere else, okay? I was tired of it. I was like, no, I can't do that. And then she writes, you don't have to ask me to respond, especially if it's on Twitter and said publicly, LMA, you're just hurt, sis, using old memes, bye. And I'm like talking about old memes while looking on old posts, girl, bye with that booty, her foolishness. Then she writes something like, LMAO, you just need to say something. And so I'm just like, okay, you know what, let me give it to her, but try to be professional. So I'm like, coming from the girl who just needed something to say, to month-old post talking about you are not Allah while rejecting something Allah said, contradicting, confused. And I'm like, idiot, I don't know if I should call her an idiot. So I went to the source, right, guys? So I want to keep it a little classy. So I was like, okay, what's another word for idiot, right? So I search it up and I'm like, oh, imbecile. I like that word, okay? That's a classy word right there. It makes me sound smart, So then I went back on Twitter and then I wrote down contradicting, confused, imbecile. Because that makes sense. And this girl is an imbecile and describes her perfectly well. Like, all right, y'all, this is how I keep it classy. If y'all want to respond to trolls, respond to ignorant people, then you kind of want to sound smart, and so thesaurus and the dictionary is your friend, okay? Sometimes I don't like answering to trolls, but sometimes I'm like, let me put them into place, because you know, sometimes people's like, oh, you know, don't speak back to them, you're taking the low road. I'm sorry, but sometimes the low road is the high road. Like, how much can you take of ignorance within your own Muslim community and just like stay quiet and be like, I'm just gonna stay quiet because I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings? And it's like, it's to the point. You know how in Islam it literally says in the hadith that Muslims will start being scared of talking about Islam in front of, like, in the world. And it's like that within our own Muslim community. You're scared to talk about Islam with your own Muslim peers because they all just want to think everything wrong is right, you know? And me, I just can't. Y'all already know. Like, I keep it way too real, and like I get frustrated. Sometimes I got a mouth on me and I gotta let it know. Like, I gotta let them know, like, nah, that's not tolerated. And you know, I'm no one perfect to be talking, but it doesn't mean I'm gonna tolerate lies. And it's so sad, you guys, because recently it was an article came out, and it was in China. And in China, people are legit calling Muslims extremists, or considering them as extremists, if they don't drink alcohol. Literally. Unfortunately, this is exactly same thing that's happening in the West, where even with our own Muslim peers, they're making us feel extreme for thinking fornication before, you know, is marriage is haram, and you know, alcohol is haram, tattoos are haram. Like, they make us feel like we're extremes, like extremists, because we believe the way. And then they'll even make fun of the religion themselves. You want to still stay in the 4th century? It's 21st century, babe. Like, I don't care, man. That's not the point. The point is, we're not, like, no offense to another religion, but like, we're not trying to change our religion with time. Like, that's not how it goes. Of course we can adapt to it, but it doesn't mean we change, you know? Now, concerning the hijab, okay, I'm not the most amazing, you know, I'm really slow at reading Arabic. I'm not great at understanding Arabic. However, I do research, you know, before I talk about things that I don't have knowledge of, because that would come out of arrogance then, right? So a lot of people are saying how hijab is not in the Quran, and I was like, wow, they're absolutely right. It's not. Wow, like, I should just take this off, right? No, sorry. Like, even if it wasn't in the Quran, I would still keep it on, but that's not the case. If you want to take off the hijab, take it off. That's your choice, whatever. I'm not going to encourage you to take it off either. I'm not going to say what you're doing is right either. I'm just saying, if you want to take it off, just take it off. But don't say Islam says it's okay to take it off either. You know? So basically, An-Nur, verse 30, say to the believing men to lower their gazes and guard their chastity, and tell the believing women to lower their eyes and guard their modesty, and that they display not their ornaments except what appears of them. Mind y'all, as I'm reading this, I know for a fact I'm not wearing the properest hijab, and I can admit to that, you know? But I'm still not gonna, like, deny the truth, you know what I'm saying? Because, like, if you deny the truth, then how are you gonna become a better Muslim? Tell the believing women to lower their eyes and guard their modesty, and that they display not their ornaments except what appears of them, and that they draw their scarves khimar over their bosoms, right? And don't laugh at me if I said that wrong, okay? I'm terrible at Arabic. Okay, so anyways, that word khimar, I think, basically, to go into a little history of that, right? Back before pre-Islamic times, the Arabs, so the way they would wear is literally just around their head, okay? It's almost like a bandana, but like, it's still covering the back of their hair and everything. So that's literally all they wore, okay? They didn't cover their ears, they didn't cover their neck, they didn't cover their bosom. They just, you know, that was it. And so when Islam came and the Prophet came, they used the word himar because that's what they were known to be called, the head covering. And then it goes in depth about the description of how to wear it properly. So yes, khimar, as you are covering your head, cover your ears, cover your neck, and cover your bosom, okay? And so it's literally describing how you're supposed to wear the hijab. It's not saying the word hijab itself, it's describing of how the hijab should be worn on a woman's body, okay? And obviously you wear jilbab and abaya and all that kind of stuff along with it. Literally describing something, and so I'm like, okay, why would it describe it? Why didn't it just say it? And I thought about the Jews, okay? there are Jewish women out there, and I was watching a documentary on this as well. Jewish women, you guys see how they wear their headscarf. They just literally just cover that area, just their head, and then the rest of the scarf is just on the back side. They don't cover their neck, bosom, or any of that stuff, right? Now, in their Torah and stuff like that, there's in the description, it says cover your head and all that kind of stuff, right? Or, you know, shave your head bald or whatever it may be. So anyways, so they just cover their head, but in documentaries, it shows that Jewish women, because they still want to do what their religion says, but on top of that, they want to look nice. So what they would do is they would either cover their head with a scarf or even a wig. They'll wear a wig and be like, well, that's still not my real hair, so I'm covering my hair. So there's literally a loophole they found in how to cover their hair, because there's literally no description of it, you know? So Islam literally is being so much smarter, and it's describing how you wear it instead of being very like vague about it and just like, yeah, you should wear it on your head. Like, no, it's saying this is how you wear it on your head. So to everybody else who wants to use that excuse, and mind you, I was a non-hijab and I didn't wear the hijab until I was the age of 18, and I use the same excuse, and my sister as well. And we're just like, oh yeah, the word hijab isn't there, guess we're not gonna wear it. And here I am, like 8 years later, still wearing it, you know? Alhamdulillah, you know? But yeah, so it is in the Quran. It is described, and you know, there's other hadiths that talk about, you know, women shouldn't show anything other than their face and hands and maybe feet, you know, that's debatable. But that's what Islam says about the hijab. So please don't come at me with the BS. The word hijab itself isn't in the Quran. However, the description of how you wear the hijab is in the Quran, and that's smarter and that's much better, because as Muslims then we can find loopholes too, right? As I mentioned how like I had friends who got influenced, right, of taking off their hijab or wanting to take their hijab off because their hijab is all the way in the back of their head where most of their hair is shown, right? And so I had someone reach out to me. So basically she was saying how she doesn't wear the hijab properly, and she has so much anxiety because of how much people judge her because she doesn't wear it properly, and it's just making her upset because even people around her, friends, family, they're not strong hijabis either, and so it's discouraging her to continue wearing the hijab. What should I do? Whatever. And so I want to read to you guys what I wrote to her, because for those that are unsure about wearing the hijab, I hope this encourages you, because this kind of reminded me why I wear the hijab. So even if you may dress a way that you're being judged and it makes you feel belittled, remember that you're not wearing for them in the first place. I've been harassed many times how I wear makeup or jeans or whatever, and I'm not a real hijabi, and although I had so much anxiety from it, I never allowed them to stop me from doing what I started for God, okay? People will always look at you up and down like they aren't satisfied with you, but never let that get to you, and you continue to strive to be a better Muslim and improving yourself. When you acknowledge your own sins, you're able to become a better Muslim, where unfortunately many Muslims nowadays don't look at themselves and think everything wrong is halal. And events won't really help. So she was asking about events and stuff like that, like how can she bring her iman back up? And I said events can't really help sometimes. And so I said sometimes make a routine up where you start maybe praying random 2 rak'ah every day, or start listening to surah before going to sleep. And what I recommended to her is to listen to Surah Rahman, because guys, like whenever I listen to Surah Rahman with the translation, oh my gosh, like I start to tear up and cry, because it's basically how many times in that chapter does it repeat how much of your the favors of your Lord will you deny, and it makes me tear up, like oh my God, like God has done so much for us, so much simple things that we don't even think about, as simple as breathing, and here I am not able to even wear a headscarf for him, like a headscarf, and he's done so much for us and we can't even do one small thing for him. And it makes me feel so humbled, like wow, like here we are so arrogant, like, you know. And of course it's a test, you know, hijab is a test, everything, just being a Muslim is a test, because sometimes like even Muslims themselves like in public, they show it's like as if they're like embarrassed to be a Muslim in the public eye, and like they want to accommodate to the other side that is more liberal to feel included, you know. So Surah Rahman, that always makes me cry and brings my iman back, because it's a huge reminder of everything God has given us, which we deny or forget. I never saw the hijab and thought it was easy every day, and every day is a struggle, but I keep telling myself I'm a warrior and I'm stronger than my desires. And even though this world is like a prison for the believers, I keep reminding myself why I wore it in the first place. Also, I love to be different and not blend in, which is true. Trust me, many girls who take in their hijab off literally realize it just makes them so normal that they almost don't like it. They don't stand out, you know? It's like they look like everyone else and nothing about themselves is special anymore. I love that the hijab gives me mystery, and when people get to know me, I'm full of surprises they wouldn't think of a hijabi like that a hijabi would have. I don't know, I just have so much faith in Allah, and I've been given so much opportunity from just wearing it, and Allah has risen me in status in other ways. And so I said to her, I hope this encourages you. It's gonna be hard, but it's gonna be so worth it. So it is so true, you guys. I'm not even gonna lie. When I it's crazy, but when I was in a hijabi, I was like pretty plain normal. Sure, like to some guys, whatever, I stood out, whatever, but it wasn't standing out for good reasons, you know what I'm saying? And subhanAllah, as soon as I wore the hijab, you guys, me and my sister, we were risen in status. And the way people looked at us, in reputation, and you know, like a sign when it shows Allah loves you is that people around you love you, you know? And so like, you know, firstly, obviously I didn't know YouTube could get you famous in any way, but you know, like I became cool with all these people like that thought like me, and I'm like, wow, like I felt like the only one, you know? And like here is YouTube, where, you know, like it's given me other opportunities. And like, you guys, there's been times where I've felt so hopeless, but I never allowed that to actually make me act on it and like take my hijab off and stuff. And I just kept faith, and like I've been given so much, and I'm like, how is my most merciful Lord giving me so much, and I just take my hijab off and just be like, I'm not dedicated to you anymore, thanks for giving me all the success in this world, bye. Like, no, I can't. And thinking about that makes me cry. Like, wow, like I didn't do anything to deserve it, yet all I did was wear a hijab, and I got this. And it's not as big as other YouTubers or whatever, but I got something. And on top of that, you guys, our Lord is so merciful. Like, he's given us the choice as a human to do whatever we want to do, even if it means disobeying him. How merciful is God for doing that, and still giving us a chance simply for repenting. Just repenting, God forgive me, that's it, you're done. Like, it's so simple. And like, and yet here we are, make things so much more complicated more than it is, or just become ungrateful and forgetful and weak, and you know. And I'm just glad that we have a God that is so kind to us, even when we don't deserve it. Like, we all sin, okay? So I'll be sitting here and there, and then I get something that I'm like, oh, I really wanted that. Oh my God, like I didn't even deserve it from God though. Like, I don't deserve it. God, I just disobeyed you. Why did you give that to me? You know what I mean? So it's like, I feel so embarrassed, like I don't deserve it, but here is God, the kings of kings, like giving it to me. Like, no, you're still trying. And I just want to remind you, Allah looks at your effort, not the result. Of course, the result is appreciated, but it's your effort of striving to become better and better every day. And like, you know, there are times people say stuff like, well, you know, hijab was a choice when they wear it, but as soon as they take it off, it's no longer a choice. Well, my argument to that is, well, it's like saying, you know, oh, pretend someone's smoking, right? And so that person has a choice to smoke, and the person has a choice to not to smoke, right? So if a person stops smoking, everyone's gonna be like, yay, good choice, good choice. And then when they start smoking again, we're not gonna be like, yay, good choice. We're gonna be like, oh, I hope you go back to not smoking. It's the same with the hijab. You have the choice to wear it, and you have the choice to not wear it. But if you wear it, we're gonna be like, yay, good job. And if you don't wear it, we're not gonna be like, yay, good job. We're gonna be like, sister, I really pray and hope you can go back to it, you know? So that's what I mean. So yes, we all have the choice to disobey God. So my thing is, it doesn't mean that just because it's a choice that it's okay. There are many choices we all make that are bad, you know? So man, I should be a lawyer. I get all this abuse none of that makes me want to be like, I should just take it on. No, I'm just like, try me. Just try me. I'm still gonna keep this on proudly, okay? Because I never work for any of y'all. And there's a hadith that I saw, if I know, I'll post it here. But there's a hadith I saw, and it says that don't try to do it for people, because there are times people will compliment you, sometimes they will be displeased with you, and it'll discourage you as a person. You won't feel good enough. And I'm not here to feel good enough from any of you guys. I'm here because of my own journey, and call me selfish, but I'm trying to go to heaven too, you know what I'm saying? I'm struggling with you guys. I'm not here with like this perfection. Hey y'all, I'm perfect, so look at me, like, so y'all should be doing the same. No, look at me, a flawed human being with imperfections, struggling as well, but I can see where I'm going wrong. Like, look, I'm not coming here out of arrogance, because yo, if I go to hell, which possibly could happen, which I could be going to hell, like I could be going to hell even if I'm making these YouTube videos. I could be going to hell, but I'll tell you one thing. I will know why I went to hell. I will say A, B, C, D to Z. Like, these were the sins that I did, and that is why I went to hell, and it makes sense and it's fair. But nowadays, these Muslims, like, even if they were put to hell, they'd be like, I don't know why I went to hell. I mean, I really don't. I thought it was halal. Like, God, I know you did. Like, stop justifying. I'm just so tired of it. Just accept what's wrong and keep trying hard, but don't like adjust things to make yourself feel better, because it makes you look so confused and contradicting. Think that makes you sound smart and like woke. By you are not woke, okay? You are literally like asleep, okay? Literally, in this world, in this dunya, if you are allowing things to happen that you know is wrong in your heart, but you just want to feel okay doing it, then you are asleep in this world. And this world is a dream, straight up, because when we die, that's the real woke. That's when we're really waking up, and that's when the reality really hits us. All the things we've done, and all the memories from everything, every sin we've done, every good deeds we've done, it's gonna really wake us up. So I hope y'all enjoyed this video, and I know I'll be ranting, I'll be preaching, I'm very passionate about this stuff. Y'all get through the struggle together, inshallah, and I hope you guys have an amazing day, and I love you all, okay? Not the brothers, just the sisters. Assalamu alaikum, peace out.